So this next video is my time at Copper Cactus Ranch, and it's a little bit on the long side. Actually, it's really long. Who am I joking? And it has a lot of rambling with it because it was a very major point of where I started to realize certain aspects of my life and certain awarenesses and things that I woke up from or to. People I talked with there really made a huge impact along my journey. And there's some very serious reminiscing in it, and there's some very serious just kind of trying to talk through it. Being a clothing optional facility meant that I couldn't take pictures unless I get approvals from everybody in the photos and so on. And which surprisingly there was very few clothing optional folks there, but I didn't want to go around getting all the releases from everybody, so it did kind of limit some of my pictures from there. But it's an absolutely gorgeous place, and definitely somewhere I would encourage somebody to go back and see at some point. There are some very difficult topics in this video, so if you are feeling emotionally sensitive or so forth, there's some crying and so on in it. Please feel free to skip on to the next video. But this is definitely a point in my journey that I discovered a lot and talked through a lot, and I apologize for the length of it. But at the same time, it is part of the journey, so I want to make sure I share it. Please enjoy. So this is the entrance for Copper Cactus Ranch. And it's in the middle of nowhere, literally. And then some. And I have no cell service out here, so it's fun. So I am out at Copper Cactus Ranch, in King Valley, Arizona. Men's only 21 plus. Retreat ranch. And it is really out there. Out there is kind of an understatement as far as you keep driving and driving and driving along the road and you wonder if you're in the right place. And the map says, yes, you're going the right way. And you keep driving and driving and driving, and it's kind of have to sit and wonder. And finally you get to this gate, and it says, members only beyond this point. And you go in past the gate, open the gate, close it behind the car, and keep driving some more. And finally get to the main part of the resort. The retreat, the ranch, whatever. It used to be a sheep ranch, and then it was a cattle ranch, and now it's a people ranch. But it's really kind of amazing. They have really turned it into a very welcoming place, and it has an energy of feeling right at home, and a certain amount of an energy of feeling kind of okay, I can just let go of everything else and just be here, be in the now. Everything that I need is here. If I really need it, I can get out to the outside world. There is no self-service here at all. The internet Wi-Fi is very spotty at best, and it's satellite, so it's really, really slow. But it's enough to be able to let people know that, hey, I'm safe and I'm okay. I will say that I'm really glad I had my Zolio, because it allowed me to be able to connect with my beloved husband and let him know that I'm safe and sound, and give him my exact coordinates. Um, so it's been really cool. So I brought some food with me, but I'll also eat here with what they cook. The prices are actually pretty reasonable for food here. So I will probably end up finishing off what I have in the cooler, but I do plan on, just, originally I was going to go to the grocery and get stuff, but, hey, I don't know if I really want to make the trek all the way back to town. And the food was actually really pretty decent, so I am really happy with being here at the moment. So we'll see where it goes from there. I have a fly there, but somehow I never loaded into my tent, so that's what I'm looking at. So as he buzzes around, he's buzzing after me for some reason. But he's looking for a way out, and I tried to get him out before, and anyway, I finally said suffer. So, but that's where I'm at. And it's night, as you can tell. They have the property lit up. Some of the cactuses are lit up with lights, and little path lights here, there, and yonder, and little candle lights on the tables and stuff. And it's really very comfortable. It'll be interesting to see what happens to this place with a lot more people here this weekend. Um, but now for the first night, I'm really comfortable with it. Here's the moon and the stars. The pool at night. And all the lights. Lights up to the windmill, the cactuses, the different spaces. It's actually really pretty at night. Good morning from Queen Valley, Arizona. It is Friday, the 17th of September. I am actually feeling fairly refreshed this morning. The ranch is starting to wake up and come alive after a night of listening to Colorado bullfrogs and the bug zapper. A few crickets, sounds like, of some sort. I got out the harp today, actually last night, and started tuning it up, and figured the tuner wasn't starting up properly, so I figured it was probably the batteries, and so I tried to do it by ear, and I was actually really fairly on, except I was like 4 steps too low for everything, so that's not too terrible, you know. Instead of it being a C, it was a D, and no, it was a G or something like that. So everything just had to go up a few steps, which worked out okay. I'm just kind of here this morning. I'll probably go after some breakfast here shortly, and just kind of chilling at the moment. It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to get up to 99. My trusty fan is blowing. It's a nice cool breeze. I really like this camp spot because it's partially shaded by the trees, and such as they are, but they're still trees. I'm told today should be a lot busier, so it'll be interesting to see who shows up.
to meet some new folks. So this little cough tickle that I've been fighting against the last day and a half has become a lot more productive today. I don't know if it's the drier air or what, or maybe it was just a cold from the hot cold thing, being so hot during the day when I was in Colorado and then dropping down in the 40s at night. Supposedly the 50s, but when you account for elevation between Littleton and Conifer, and you look at the temperatures in Conifer, they were several degrees cooler. Then it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't in the 50s like I thought it was. It was a lot colder. But it seems to start clearing up a lot better now. So hopefully it will go away all the way. My fears that I had picked up something from somebody are kind of diminishing. Of course, it also could be the vitamin C and zinc, magnesium, calcium pills that I've been taking too to help bolster my immune system, etc. But we'll see. I kind of forgot that this was a clothing optional resort, and because everybody's been wearing clothes. But it was nice to go swimming last night without any. Made use of the hot tub today, and that was fun too. But it should be a good day. I'm looking forward to it. Last night I was talking with one of the owners who is a former microbiologist, and we were talking about how there's been so much misinformation out on the internet and for people about COVID, and how damaging it has been to the ability to try and get around, to get through the pandemic. And he actually, with the Delta variant, he actually got called by AstraZeneca and has been consulting with them for the whole vaccine and trying to work through everything and so on. And it was really interesting to see or to hear some of the information that he is gathering and seeing, what people are actually putting out there. They have a private Facebook group for members here, and he started posting information out there, and somebody who worked for AstraZeneca or knew somebody out there started cutting and pasting that information, and they realized that this was somebody who really knew what they were talking about, and so they started consulting with him, which is really cool. He was like, I thought I left that career behind, 4 careers ago. But it's nice to see that even though you spent so much time in your life studying and working on something that you've left behind, that you still end up using it. And that really made me stop to think, because I was like a little bit lost with, how am I going to make use of my skill sets and so on moving forward. It gave me some food for thought, because, I've done IT support for so many years, and while it doesn't really energize me anymore, and it doesn't really make me feel warm and fuzzy anymore, it's still a major part of my life. Just like music has been a major part of my life, and travel was a major part of my life, and talking with people and storytelling and so forth. My spirituality was a major part of my life. All those different pieces are still part of me. They're still part of who made up me. Just for whatever reason, I lost track of them. And it was kind of a realization, sort of a, you know, just because it's not something that you're using on an everyday basis doesn't mean that it's not still part of you, and it's not still something that you can go out and do and still have a certain wholeness to you with it. It's going to be still skill sets that are valuable at some point or another. Whether or not you choose to continually use them is a whole different story. But they do enrich your life, and they enrich the lives of people around you. And I guess in some ways, it's also kind of what I was hoping to do with this video series, was that I was hoping for it to be a way to not only for me to be able to get my thoughts out, but to help encourage other people to say, hey, you know, maybe there are lessons in my life that I can share with other people. And I wasn't really sure how was best to go about doing that, but I think it's working. I met up with my good friend Marcus in Albuquerque, and it was wonderful to see him. And Marcus, thank you so much for everything. And he made the comment that, you know, just seeing the progression of the video up to this point has been amazing to see the change that has occurred, the changes I hadn't seen in myself yet. And after my conversation last night with Doc, I started to realize that, you know, he was right. I have started changing already. And, you know, it's so easy to get lost in the what was and what could be in the future, and looking towards, you know, hey, this is my goal for the future, and this is what I want to do, and so on. That there was something when I was younger, I didn't worry so much about structuring the future for life going forward. It was what will happen, and you know, you can try and plan for it, you can try and work towards it, and you can make things happen, yes. But you also have to have a certain willingness to allow the natural progression of things to occur as well. And I think this trip was a really good example of that. You know, I learned I had been talking with somebody who called Texas Derek, and his name actually really was Derek, and he made me wake up and realize how unhappy I was, because for some reason or another he and I just really clicked really well, and we got along really, really well through it all. And he wanted me to come down and move with him and become his partner and so on, and you know, trying to give me the world, and I wasn't ready for that at the time. And I had some folks who were like, "Are you crazy?" And I knew I wasn't really super happy with the way things in my relationship were at the time. But I knew I loved Derek very much. My Derek, Mr. Volkman, Derek, and that I wasn't really quite ready to just throw everything up in the air. To me, there was a certain responsibility I needed to take care of, and while it was very attractive to the idea of learning a whole different career, because he was in real estate and was willing to teach me what I needed to get involved in that. I still had certain obligations ahead of me, but in the end, I was like, I need time to work through things on my own, and that was the right thing to do. There's no question about it in my mind. The way that things happened definitely was the way they needed to happen, and but it also led to my deciding to take the trip and deciding to go out and find myself again. When I started all of this, I still have my notebook of my master plan of here's everybody I want to visit and where I want to go and the things I need to do and so on. And I started prepping for all of that and started getting everything together for it all, plus getting the move together and getting us settled. And a few weeks before starting it all, or like 2 weeks before starting it all, it suddenly got down to, hey, this person has moved across the country, and Texas Derek passed away, and which was really, really difficult news for me to hear, and to experience a loss of somebody who I clicked with so well, but never knew. It's something that I have tried to deal with as I've gone forward, but I haven't fully processed through yet. I miss him. I miss our conversations. I had really planned on going down to see him and meet up with him and so on, and just see what was really there or not. And I dare say that there was a certain part of me that loved him, and I really honestly believe that he felt that way as well. And it was crazy. It was totally insane. And for some reason, I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to follow insanity. But I'm glad that it happened. It did throw me onto a different track, and it forced me to stop and relook at what's in my life and where I'm at in my life and my plan, and to rework it and to remember that, my family are the people who were there with me. They make up so much of my life. And I'm really glad to have them in my life. So after I leave here, I'm going to make a run to Las Vegas for the mother-in-law's wedding. Her third wedding, maybe it's a charm. Stay there, spend some time with my honey, who's flying in, and he's coming in to do her photography, and then our anniversary is 2 days later, so I'm really looking forward to it. I wish he was here. I think he'd really like this place. I think he would really like this place. Neither one of us would appreciate the heat, but it's really good. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there are tons of butterflies flying around. So it's Monday morning, and with a really heavy heart, I'm leaving the Copper Cactus Ranch. And it's a very unique experience, one that I found a lot of answers, and it's going to take me a while to process through, but it was very good. And anyone searching for help or assistance or looking for a way to find themselves in their life and just maybe to retreat away from the madness of everything, this place I can't highly recommend enough. It definitely felt good to feel part of a family again, and a community, and to feel like, you know, there were people from all sorts of different backgrounds who came in, and I was really glad to be part of that. And I will definitely be back. Well, thanks for watching my time at Copper Cactus Ranch. So, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, click on the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Here comes Las Vegas.